All right, Jed, since Mr. Chairman's not here, I guess that means that you are chairman.
Call to order. Please make the motion.
Second.
So moved.
All right, so department updates, we'll go over programming stuff. Obviously, we didn't meet in October. So I'll kind of go back from since September, just to kind of give everybody a rundown. So we've run a bunch of different programs. We had blacktop basketball that we did on Saturday evenings. Obviously, it's a different time of year and everybody has a lot more going on. So, you know, when we had 70 something in the summer, I didn't expect we'd get anywhere near that. But we had 26 kids. So we had 26 kids who otherwise may not have been doing something. We're playing basketball on Saturday nights. It went quite well. We've had a few theater programs, one called Broadway Babies. That's for literally, 18 months to like 3 years. We had 4 kids signed up for that. Our instructor for that is absolutely fabulous. And I see this kind of evolving. But then we also did the older program called the Children's Playhouse. We did a little bit of it during the summer. We've continued it during the fall. And we have a total of 24 kids doing that on Wednesday and Thursday nights. So it's going quite well. We've done one thing that people have been really asking me for is volleyball. Like that's a big thing right now, especially at the middle school age level. So we were able to offer a volleyball clinic with Sportszone 101. They had some of the girls from the Gordon College program working for them. So they ran a volleyball clinic. Back in early September, we had 14 girls sign up at that time. And then we had parents ask for even more. So we added another session that just started this past Sunday, and we have 31 girls registered. So this is really exploding. The high school coach is very excited about this. She's seeing that the growth of this program is going to be big, and she's looking to do stuff in the spring and summer with us. So this is a big one for us, and something that I can see growing as we grow. Fencing is going on right now. We have 19 kids signed up for that. Fencing is one of these things that we started off with 2 or 3 kids, and now we have about 19 every single time we offer it. Again, it's a non-traditional activity that some kids may not otherwise have had something to do. They're trying this out and they're loving it. So it's going very well. I've worked with the instructor for years, so I know what I'm getting, and he does a very nice job. We are offering adult pickleball lessons again, as we have traditionally offered. We have 4 classes running right now, and we have 30 people registered for it. So again, our max would have been 32. We're right there, and we're happy with that. And our new instructor is doing fantastic. We're running a Parkinson's program. So it's kind of like living with Parkinson's and trying to give people who have it or maybe susceptible to it kind of exercise. We have 5 registered for that right now. We tried doing a 1-day workshop a few weeks ago. We had 8 signed up for that. We turned it into a class and we got 5 of them. So again, new stuff. We're trying it, seeing how it works, and we're pretty happy with it thus far. We're doing rock climbing with Central Rock Gym in Stoneham. We have 7 people registered for that, which if you told me I was going to have 7, especially at the price point that we had to offer this at, I'd have been surprised. But I think it's great numbers for what we're doing, literally just offering it. We are doing a turkey trot Nerf program with Sportszone 101 on the day before Thanksgiving, that Wednesday afternoon. And when I checked numbers yesterday, we had 25 kids in the program. I didn't check it tonight, but I know I had a bunch of registrations today. I know that we're over 30 right now. We can take a max of 40. So we're almost sold out for that program. Saturday Night Lights, our flag football program, that ended on October 23rd. And we had 273 total kids playing this year. That's the most that we've ever had. And about 30 kids more than we've ever had. We've had a lot of young girls who are registering for the program and playing, which is exciting because we want to build that and maybe have a girls' league at some point. We had a few minor coaching issues with it. Minor meaning the coaches weren't giving the kids the amount of play time that they should have got. Some coaches thought they were Bill Belichick and were trying to be out there to win as opposed to give the kids the experience. I've jotted down those coaches' names because all these issues came to me at the end of the year. If they want to coach next year, we're going to have a talk before they can come back. We're thrilled to have volunteers, and we're a volunteer-driven program. but we need to have people who are there for the kids and not for the end result. Because there is no trophy, there's no awards, there's no parade. This is about the kids. So if winning is their thing, this isn't the right program for them. I can give them names of programs to go to that are all about winning for flag football. That's not what we're about. So, but I have those names, those things will be addressed in time.
Dan, what are the ages we're talking about for those coaches? Are they all over the place?
It was 3rd and 4th grade.
Okay, typical.
Yep.
See the same thing in WBA.
Yep.
At that level.
Yep. Yep. It was the 2nd, 3rd grade, 4th, 5th grade levels. And again, just kind of, my opinion, the wrong things. We should be there for instruction, giving them joy, giving them experiences, letting every kid play every position, because it doesn't matter. There's no awards. Just go let them all play. And I wish I had known it earlier in the season. Parents didn't want to make a stink about it, but I'm glad they told me at the end, because if I don't know, I can't fix it. But we know who they are. So it's not like we don't tell them this in a coaches meeting. We say it before the season. And it happened.
What's the oldest group that you guys we run for flag football?
Grade 6 to 8.
Okay.
Yep. And we did have I'm not going to call it an issue there. We had a complaint there where one team didn't have a parent coach. Well, so, okay, there's no parent coach. SNL took a college or high school kid and put them in as the coach. And one parent complained that, they didn't have an adult coach. My thing back was, well, you can step up and coach if you like, and we'll put this person with you. We make it easy. And they didn't like that solution. And it turned out, she said that the coach was playing too much. Well, it turns out it was actually the Reading High quarterback, James Murphy. James Murphy is going to go to a major Division I college for football. This kid is legit. And talking to some other parents afterwards, they loved it. They said, oh, he was throwing balls to all the kids. Hey, good catch, good this, good that. I happen to know the kid's family. He's a good kid. He's a good role model. Yeah, he's getting paid to go down there and referee or coach, but he wants to be there, and he's trying to help the kids learn the game of football. So one didn't like it, 10 did. I know what to say. I feel badly that the one didn't like it, but I'm happy that the 10 did. So kind of goes with the territory, I guess. We also ran tennis lessons with Sportszone 101. Admittedly, in Sportszone knows this, I was hesitant to do this because I'm so, Sandy Palmer's done all of our lessons forever, and Sandy's great. But Sandy can't commit to doing lessons this time of year. She goes back to the Woburn Racket Club. So I talked to Sandy before we offered the lesson. Said, yeah, how are you okay with us doing this? You're still my summer person, but I want to do a little bit more, and I know you can't. She gave us her blessing. We did it with Sportszone. We had 17 kids sign up, and they loved it. So it was definitely not the level of tennis that Sandy's going to give, but for somebody who's never played before, never picked up a racket, it was a perfect beginner experience and at a very cheap rate. So people were happy with that. We also had we call it Winners Soccer. It's Wakefield inclusive activities and sports. So it's kind of our special needs element that we're doing. We had 12 registers for that. Again, first time doing these things. This programming is only going to grow. We're now collaborating with the Boys and Girls Club as well on a lot of these classes. Right now, specifically because they have better space than we have, because ours, and I'll go over why, it's a good thing for us. They just have more available space. So they're going to do a floor hockey, and they're going to do a basketball. And again, we're going to collaborate with that to make sure that this segment of the population can get some more access to programs, especially with Communitas still not offering their recreation portion of things. And then finally, programming wise, we've got pickleball drop-in going on. Numbers right now are just super low. In the past, we've had 20, 30 people a day coming in. Well, 20 or 30 people for a 2-hour segments of time coming in. Right now, we might have 8. And I know a lot of people are playing outside because they can play outside and they're comfortable playing outside. They realized during the pandemic they could play outside. Cold didn't matter. They're shoveling off courts or whatever it is. And I also think the mask mandate makes a lot of people not want to come. you know, so we're kind of still in that flux. I've talked to a couple of pickleballers who I'm closer with and explained to them, listen, I can't kind of keep holding the space for you guys if it's not going to be used. So I have a couple alternatives that I could go to. One is I know that there's a local school, non-traditional school, who would potentially look for some gym time. So I could give them some gym time because I have a lot of pickleball time set aside. The other thing that I could plan on doing, and this might make the pickleballers feel more comfortable to come back, is instead of doing $5 drop-in where there could be 30, 40 people coming in. And I think that amount of people might make them nervous. Even though the space is big, I just don't think that they want that much of a crowd. We may go to just private court rentals. So they can rent the first, second, or third court. And instead of doing $5 drop-in, we're just going to do $30 an hour for that court. Quite honestly, it'd be a big win for us. But I've always been about the social element of that sport or of that game. Yes, they play their games and they want to win when they're playing it, but it's more of the, oh, there's that person. Oh, there's that. I haven't seen them in a while. And they just have their little side conversations. And that's the beauty of that activity. So we're going to kind of see how it goes. I'm giving it until the new year. And then Karen and I already have the plan to adjust on the fly if we need to. So that's where we are with all of that stuff. Any questions pertaining to programs, activities, anything like that? No? Okay. So moving to the Civic Center. So we're booked pretty solid right now, all the way in through March. And it's great. It really starts up, not right now, but first week in December. I mean, we are literally booked 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or longer on weekends. We are booked 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. during the week. It's a great thing. So, WBA has started up. That seems to be going well. On Sunday nights in January through March, we're going to have Wakefield Soccer Association is going to run some clinics in there that they wanted to do and that they've traditionally done. Traditionally, they've done it over at the high school, but because at the time of trying to schedule this stuff, they weren't sure if they could get into the schools. So they booked time with us. And that's a win in my book for me. Youth softball has always come through us. They are coming in on Saturday nights, February and March. Again, all this is after WBA is done. Our archery instructor, who we worked with for years, was looking for some indoor space to finish out some lessons that he wasn't able to do in his space that he normally had was unavailable. So he's actually rented nights before softball starts in December and January. So again, we're just booking out a lot of time for some other groups that we've worked with, but maybe not been in with us, and it's going great, or it will go great. We also have a big event in this Saturday. If you're around town, it's the Dunn Foundation event. They've had their holiday, kind of their holiday craft show. So that's going on this Saturday. They are there from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Big thing. So if you're around, check it out. And, we can't have WBA in this weekend because of that. And then the Middlesex Community Band will have their annual show on December 3rd. And again, WBA knows about that. That's a bump date for them. And that should go well too. So JC Marketing upstairs, I think I mentioned this before, they gave up half of their space because there was just so much space for them. So the other half has been renovated by the town, and we've already moved in the Middlesex partnership, the Massachusetts Partnership for Youth into that space, and it's working out well for them. So things are on the up and up over there. It's great to have all the space used. The Heritage Room is heavily used, which is exciting to see. So yeah, we're really kind of stuffed to the gills at this point. And anybody who's looking for space, I feel bad that I'm turning them away, but I keep telling them, call me in April, then I'll have something. Even, we've done the Washed Up Ballers basketball league for years, the high school group. And, Matt and Will Shea got to me about 10 days ago. And I'm like, guys, I'm already booked on the dates that you want. Like, things just moved so fast. So we're pushing them back to April. So we'll get those guys in there to have their league that they've normally had. It's a good problem to have, but it's a problem, and we'll work it out. Any questions about Civic Center stuff? All right, you guys are easy tonight. Field stuff. So all fields will technically close on Thanksgiving. After the high school football game is kind of the hurrah, and then we kind of close things up for the year. That doesn't mean that people don't go on them. We just not permitting people to go on them. The community gardens closed on November 12th. Wakefield Soccer Association has ended. They're done for the season. Youth football ends this week. They do have one team in the playoffs, so they're still practicing. The tennis courts, they're still open. Dennis typically takes down the nets about the first week of December, but he'll leave up a net or two until it really gets bad. Or if he has nets that are going to be replaced, he'll just leave them up for as long as he can, and maybe even the entire winter. So people could potentially play there. And then lights are turned off basically at all fields at this point, except for the high school fields, because the high school teams are practicing, or the football team's practicing. I'm sure the band is practicing, and youth football is practicing. And then I have lights on Mullen Field for the Boys and Girls Club until Tuesday. So I leave them on until 6, just to give those kids a little extra time outside and takes the strain off of the amount of people that they need to have in the gym. So that's kind of worked out very well. Any questions about fields?
They're already working on the vets tennis courts, right? far as-
I don't know if
There's
they broke
steam
ground yet.
shovel on the court.
Yeah, there's a big shovel there, but there's nothing going on.
Okay, I haven't, honestly, I've driven by it.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on there.
Okay, that's good enough. See, I wasn't even aware. I know that they were,
Some
I know they were
fence
gonna be
stuff.
started, but they weren't gonna be finished until spring. I knew that. So I'll have to drive by there and check it out for myself, just to see it.
Do we
Yeah.
need to talk about the bike track at all?
Yeah. That's coming up too. That's next.
Okay.
Any other questions about fields?
I'm sorry I was late. It was
That's all right.
parent-teacher conferences at the high school.
That's all right, bud.
Ooh.
Zoom conferences.
Yes. Good times, aren't they?
Yeah.
So Rich brought up the BMX track. So I'm not going to call it an issue, but something came up where a resident called me we'll call it early October, and had some concerns about the BMX races using amplification. So they were using a speaker system. And typically we've only allowed it for the state race. This has been the way it's been. And I've always sent out a letter to the abutters when the race comes and say, hey, this is the day, let you know, you're gonna be inconvenienced for a period of time. Well, the amplification was going beyond that time. And because I wasn't aware of it, because I hadn't let the neighbors know about it, I told BMX after I got the concern, all right, there's no amplification this time. If you want to do this, you need to come before us next year and make the request. I'm not saying that we're going to say yes. I'm not going to say that we're going to say no, but let's do it the right way. And then I can let abutters know, hey, here are the race dates. Here's the times that you could be inconvenienced. I've kind of been expecting this to happen for a while, because I remember going through this in Reading with certain things, and I went through this in Arlington with other things. And as somebody who grew up across the street from a park, I know the impact on a neighborhood. I know what it's like. I know what the traffic is like. I know what it sounds like on Sunday nights to have music blaring from a concert at the park across the street from your house. I get it. Once I got used to it, I can't say because I was young, I didn't care. Once my parents got used to it, it didn't matter. And then they kind of realized, like, oh, that's nice that they're doing that. But now they know. So I think if we have BMX come before us, next, February, March, whatever it is, we can then make an informed decision. But that will be something that you guys will vote on, and then it'll be on me to either let abutters know or tell BMX that we're not doing it.
And I'm confused. They only were supposed to use amplification on the final tournament or the state tournament.
That's the
And
only
we
time that
use
we've ever allowed it.
Okay, and they were using it other times?
But I don't think we ever said, don't use it, right?
No, we never said don't use it, but that's the only time that we knew it was being done. So we let the neighbors know.
What time of
So it's
day
not-
does it usually happen? Like during
So
the
it
day?
used to be Sunday mornings. The races now, I think, are Sunday afternoons.
Okay.
But it's kind of so since I first started here, it's changed because they used to go to different. There's only like 3 tracks in Massachusetts that people can race at. There's one in the Cape, there's one in Billerica, and there's one here. I think that the Billerica track is relatively new, well established, even though it's new. It has concessions, it has amplification, it has all the bells and whistles that you'd want. And I think that they do Sunday mornings now. So the goal of the group that's running the track currently, is to do it afternoon so people can go to the race in Billerica in the morning and then shoot over to Wakefield in the afternoons. So they just get a full day of racing. And I when I talked to the track operator, and he's a great kid, he said to me, he's like, well, we're the only track that doesn't have it. And I reminded him, Roger, we're also in Wakefield, and there's no other tracks around other than Billerica that's really close. Like, we're lucky that we have what we have.
Yeah.
So let's not go too crazy that we don't have this or the other thing. We have a track. So it's kind of a slippery slope. But these are things that I want to bring Roger in to have the conversation and make his pitch as to why they should have amplification. And again, I know it's a sensitive issue. I'm sure anybody who lives near a park would feel the same way. But you also live near a park. So you kind of know what you're getting into, but that's a conversation, a bit longer conversation for another day. I just want to let you know that this is coming down the road.
Do you know the Billerica track, is it as close to residential houses as ours is?
I will
Because that's
Google
close.
search it. I'll Google search it and I'll find out.
Okay, because
No,
I
and-
mean, that really is a residential area.
It is. And the woman who called, she was very kind. She was upset, but she was very kind. And, I just said, listen, you've got a sympathetic ear here. Again, I grew up in that kind of a neighborhood. I understand. We can nip it in the bud for now. And her thing was, we have to listen to the noise all the time. All that day that she called to complain about, we were having friends over and we wanted to be able to sit out in the backyard and have the quiet enjoyment of the neighborhood. We couldn't do that. Yeah, I understand it. I got it. If they had known, hey, XYZ time, we can't do it, or, because this is going on, maybe it's a different conversation. So there's a lot to think about, but again, we are a few months down the road. I just want to put that bug in your ear that it's going to come up, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up for other fields at other points.
Is he,
It doesn't look like either the Cape Cod or the Billerica track is in a residential area.
Okay.
But
Is
that being, yeah, go ahead.
no, go
Sorry.
ahead,
Go right ahead.
go ahead.
I was
Vic.
just saying that, again, Dan, I don't want to drag this on. We can certainly have a longer conversation about it this spring, but that being said, I think you're right. I think they're near a track, and I think on limited dates in the afternoon, if they want to have amplification, we should consider it because it's a sport too.
And I think it's a good conversation to have, and it's one that I've been honestly expecting for a few years. So the fact that it took 8 years of me being here for this to come up, we did pretty good. But it's here now, so we'll work with it.
Quick question, not to beleaguer this, but is it the same family that is running it, that's been running it for the last,
No.
forever?
No.
Okay.
Yep. No, in fact, I think you were on town council when we approved this new group to come in.
Okay.
And really, he's a great kid. He does a wonderful job. He's really built up the ridership that they have, but they want a little bit more, and I get it. It's just not in the cards. He was even saying, oh, would they, they have all these stands. You're comparing apples and oranges. Something new versus something old you can't compare it. And it's not like it's a revenue generator. It's not bringing in money.
Right.
So my thing is, we're lucky to have it. It works. Let's not go too crazy on it. But the amplification is something that we can discuss, and that's what we'll bring to the table later. A few other things. So I had the the BMX track under announcements, because that's something that I wanted to bring to your attention. So just a few other things that I'm
He's
working on.
not scheduled yet, right?
Not scheduled yet. Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Because so he is scheduling the races actually right now. I got notification today. Hey, Dan, can we do Sundays again? Yeah, you schedule the dates and tell me, and we'll work around that. Youth baseball tends to use 5 p.m. and on at Sullivan on Saturdays. Well, I'm sorry, on Sundays. That's just the way it's kind of worked the last couple of years. So if you want, noon to 4 or whatever, we can make it work, but give me the dates, give me the times, and then I can bring them to you and say, hey, here's the dates that are proposed. Here's the big races. Here's the small races. What do we want to do here? Because we don't have to do what one and say, well, this date, this date, this date, this date, this date are okay. These ones aren't. But I want to see what the races are. I want to see sometimes there's a theme behind them. So this, obviously the state race, that's a big one. But the last one was their Halloween race, which was a big race for them. And that's what they want amplification for. Well, you were using it all this time. We didn't know. We're not going to let you use it in this circumstance, because I don't need a bunch of angry people calling me again. Let's figure it out first. And I could sit there and after we vote on whatever we vote on, say to abutters, hey, on this date, this date, this date, you're going to have some sound in your neighborhood for a few hours. And I think that lessens the impact. I know because again, my parents still live in the house I grew up in. When the town of Reading has a road race there, or the Friends of Reading Recreation, or whoever it is, has a road race there, they never get notified. And it irritates my parents because now they can't leave their house for hours and people are just showing up to race. Just a little information for them, a little communication goes a very long way. So I think we can make all the bad feelings go away very quickly with a quick little letter. Hey, here's what's going on. Be aware. And those are things that I'm comfortable doing and have done all the time. So it's nothing new. Even when we used to do when we were involved with the movies, Karen and I would walk around the neighborhood around the lake and drop flyers on people's doors, just so they knew that movies are going on and it might be a little out there and it might be a lot of traffic. Those things that we just do. So no big deal on our end. Any other questions about BMX? Kind of.
New computer. It was working earlier.
There you go. I can hear you better.
So they have a big sign up now. Benevento sponsoring the track now.
So I did see that they have one of the garages is sponsoring some of the races. One of the local, but I don't know who it is. I don't know what they did for it. I don't know how they got it.
It's
What the rules? They have a sign on the top.
Roger works. But
it's AC Auto. It's AC Auto.
Right. Thank you, Rich. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that the track operator works with them, is connected to them somehow, and I think that's how it happened. But I haven't got that information because I didn't ask about it.
I was out there a couple days ago. There's a sign up on the left now. It's some kind of construction company or something also.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me. I just didn't know if we had rules against that town property having signs up or whatever the rules are.
I'll go check out the signs and then talk to him. Because yeah, they should. I mean, anything that goes up, they should ask us before they put it. And by the way, that's not the only place it happens. I know there's others. The one that softball used to like to. Hey, can we put this up? Well, no. If you put it up for during your game, take it down after. They used to put like little clip-on ones. Those things were fine, but yeah, I don't want anything permanent up there. So I'll take a look at that tomorrow. It's supposed to be beautiful out, so it'll be nice to get out of the office. A couple of things that I had on my announcements list were, right now, I know it's November, but I'm planning for summer already. So we're working on our summer programming stuff because I want to have that out right after New Year. I'm still working on my field study because I want to see where our prices are in comparison with other towns. We still have roof leaks in the gym. That's an ongoing issue. It's something that we're going to need to go to capital improvement for, though. So, because it's quite honestly, since the pandemic, if I had 1 or 2 weeks before, or 1 or 2 leaks before, we have on any given day, 8, 10, depends. So we really need to do a whole new roof and remove the skylights. Because the skylights are a main issue there, or one of the main issues. So that's something that's going to be coming down the road that I'll do capital for. The backstop at Yule was replaced. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. The backstop down at Yule was old, decrepit, falling apart. Dennis Fazio was able to get that replaced, which is great. I'm still working on finding funding for a handicap swing because that is still something that's very important, still on the top of my agenda. I just know for that wheelchair swing that's been talked about for a while. It's an important thing to get done. I just want to make sure that when it's built, I want to have a maintenance plan in there too, because something like that, let's be honest, it's going to be used for its intended purposes at times, and it's going to be used for its unintended purposes at other times. And things like that break. And when they break, they cost money to fix. So I want to make sure that we have enough money to be able to cover those kinds of things. And those, I mean, when a swing breaks at a park, recreation pays for it. When playground equipment breaks at a park, we pay for it. Those things don't bring in revenue. So this is a bigger item that's going to need to be better planned for. So we're working on that still. And then, I want to talk to, DPW and some others about maybe doing a feasibility study about doing some renovations at Moulton. I'd like to see, some improvements to the basketball court there. I'd like to see that old tennis court either made into another pickleball court or maybe a street hockey rink, something like that. Cause I think those are things that people, would be interested in. If there's space, I'd love to find space somewhere in town for a splash pad. I know there's been or a spray park. I know there's been a lot of call for that, but I also know what that costs to build because I've been involved in that. We did it in Arlington and it was $250,000 and we already had one in place. So they're pricey, but that's something that I know people want. And I think it'd be a nice amenity is just where do we put it? So these are things that I got to have bigger conversations about. And then, I don't know if you all saw on Facebook, there was I was hoping that Nick was going to be here today, our youth council rep. They did a cleanup day and they did it at the Common, the Upper Common, and at the Galvin. So from what I saw, they did a really good job. They did it on Veterans Day. They had a bunch of people out. I actually had to run to the Civic Center on Veterans Day for something. And I saw tons of people out there cleaning, which is great. I know the youth council does have a plan in place to potentially talk to their peers about taking better care of their fields. Because quite honestly, if people don't agree with me when I say it on Facebook, it is the kids who are really leaving a bulk of the trash at the facilities. I'm a 45-year-old guy and I'm not running to McDonald's. McDonald's will ruin me. I don't have that 13-year-old metabolism anymore. But there's McDonald's everywhere at those fields and at the complexes. So I know Nick mentioned that they were talking about having some conversations with their peers about it and how that's going to go about. I don't know, but I really hope that happens because even after all the work they've done today, I can look up from my office and I can see trash on the field. And it's just an ongoing issue. And it's the kids right after they get out of school who go to McDonald's or Walgreens or whatever it is, get their snacks, run over to the fields or to the court, and they can't make it to the barrel that is maybe 25, 30, maybe even 50, maybe 100 yards away. They can't make it over there. They just leave it. So it's an ongoing thing. It's an uphill fight, but hopefully with the youth council's influence and help, we can finally win this battle. And that is all I have on my agenda. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to talk to me about. No? Okay. Oh, now I can't hear you. Now it's all feedback.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's on the Recreation Commission now?
Who's on which commission?
This one. Who's on the
this one?
recreation?
Okay, so it's obviously everybody who's here. Then we have Chris Gargano still. We have Sue Hickey still. Bob Burnett still. And we do have one open slot. And that just hasn't been posted yet. And I think right after the new year, that's going to be posted. So if you guys have people who are interested in getting on board, definitely have them reach out once it's posted, because I do want to add somebody who can fill out for Annie's finish off her term.
Is Frank still an associate member?
Yeah, no. I mean, the town never really recognized associate members. And even when Tony was, an associate, I would kind of get the emails back of, why is this being sent to Tony? I'm like, well, he's an associate member. He can't vote, but we still want him to attend. I mean, I'd love to have Frank jump back on just because he knows.
Well, now there's an opening though.
And
So,
well, here's what's going to happen is I know there's a few interested parties, and then it's going to be a town council vote. I mean, they're the body who's going to appoint anyways. But I'd love to see somebody like Frank, just because he knows exactly what we do. He's capital improvement. He's the field guru. He'd be a great body, but maybe he's not interested. I haven't talked to Frank in a while. Been quite a while. So I'd love to just get another body. But if you have friends or whoever, send them our way.
but they can't apply yet, right? Because
You can't buy yet, but once it's posted, or even if honestly, if there's just an interested party and they want to talk to me to find out like what it's about and what we do, I'm happy to have that conversation. I've done it with people before. Hey, I might apply for this position. What's it entail? And those are great conversations for me to have. I love them. And I always do it face to face. I can't do the Zoom anymore. And I don't want to do the phone. I want to meet with somebody. So I can get a feel for them. They can get a feel for me.
Speaking of face to face, is there any, do you know if we're ever going to be back face to face again?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wish I had that answer.
Please.
Now, what I've heard, and it's just what I've heard, we will be doing this for a while. And if we ever do go back in person, I think it would initially have to be at town hall because it has to be recorded. And we have to be able to give the option to have somebody call in or video in or whatever it is. Those options have to be there now because of the pandemic. So I don't know when this ends. I'll say, I love hanging out with you guys at the meetings and hanging out after and being able to have our little side conversations. It is nice just to be home, so when we're done here, I'm with my family again, but I love meeting everybody in person. So
Yeah.
I don't know when that ends or when that part begins again.
Okay, no worries.
No, it's a good question though. And I think some boards may be doing it in person. Well, obviously town council is, but they're doing it at WCAT and they have the setup where they can do everything that they need. Civic Center doesn't offer that right now. Maybe that's something that we can do down the road. Anything else? Nope. All right, well, if you guys want, it is 7:43 and we can entertain whatever motions you want to make.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Yep,
Opposed? All right, opposed? No.
And then just quickly, so I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to meet in December because it's going to be right before the holidays. And I don't know about your houses, but my house is chaos around that time. So we'll meet again after the new year. Obviously, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hope it's safe and healthy. Everybody's surrounded by their loved ones. That's the most important thing, especially these crazy days. Merry whatever you celebrate. Happy New Year, and look forward to seeing everybody in 2022. And
Thank
don't be
you,
strange.
Val. Thank you.
I love visitors, so just come on
Same,
by.
Jan.
Say hi.
Happy holidays, everybody.